goal! Trying to goal! Oh, what a goal!
The crack, what's the bleeding story? I'll tell you what the fucking story is. I'm not happy whatsoever. Surely, like a lot of other Arsenal fans out there. Where do I start? I'll just fucking tell you where I start is that the starting 11 for me was completely wrong. This fucking whole party thing, it's not fucking working. This right back and in inverted and all this shit coming in. Because for me, he was caught. Party was caught for the first goal within the first few seconds. He's trying to get used to his position. I understand that. And I don't blame him personally. I blame Arteta for putting him in this position. He was caught completely on that right-hand side. They went in and scored a goal. And they soaked it up for the whole game. That's great. Then the other goals and, this shit, you know what I mean? It's just, when are we going to stop with this bullshit? You know what I mean? For fuck's sake, it's driving me mad. Just play the way we did last season. And just let's go on with it. Stop trying to make... I was watching Warren through this, Warren's team talk. I was watching him and he actually said this and he was fucking spot on. Football is hard when people make it fucking hard. It's fucking simple game. It's a simple game. Let's be honest about it. Just fucking get the ball and go for goal. You know what I mean? This Havertz for me is not fucking working. And I said I'd give him 10 games. How many are we in now at this stage? We're 3 games in plus the Community Shield, 4 games and a few in pre-season. For me, it's fucking done. He's not up for it. And trying to put him into the fucking squad and trying to make things fucking work, it's not happening. For me, Martinelli gave him a ball. The two of them were there, right? Martinelli gave him a ball. He wanted a 1-2. Martinelli hit it and he ran forward like that. Havertz just kicks it back to where he was. Martinelli had to come back and try and get the ball to stop it from going out of play. He's not on the fucking same wavelength as Martinelli. It's not fucking working. And why does it have to be a fucking arsehole from Dublin like me telling you fucking this, telling Arteta this? I'm sure there's fucking loads of other people, the exact same situation. Dale, I agree with you, or Dale, I don't agree with you. But fuck me, something has to be fucking done. He's probably after falling out with Gabriel Magalhaes as well. I don't fucking know what's going on there. But fuck me, Saliba, Gabriel, you play the two of them. Because when the two of them were playing with each other last season, they were fucking unreal together. And this bullshit of fucking in Ben White in there, Party there, and Kiora or fucking whoever it is on the left-hand side. It's not fucking working. Just go back to now. Tierney's obviously gone. So go back to Zinchenko, Saliba, Gabriel, and Ben White on the right-hand side. Will you just fucking do that? Not this fucking bullshitting around. I'm fucking sick of it. And fucking Havertz in. As I said there, let's try and make him work. Trossard played fucking shit today. He was fucking trying. And he gives him a minute into the fucking second half. I don't know if it was a fucking injury. I went up to have a fucking piss. Jesus fucking Mary and Joseph. I'm going to get a few lads in here before I fucking lose me plot. Please do subscribe and like if you want. You know what I mean? But please do. Help me because I'm going fucking insane here. I'll get a few. Look at these boys straight in. Mane, Kyle Walsh. I hope you're well, guys. Mane, I'll start with you. Am I going fucking mad or what did you make of the starting 11?
First of all, Dale, you are not going crazy. Everything you said was perfectly spot on. They said. You're being too negative, they said. I don't care if you don't like Arteta or the players. You give them a chance, they said. Clearly, there's something in by Havertz, and it has to be brought out, and we need to give him a chance, so they said. We still managed to win our game, so they said. And the narrative from this, Dale, will obviously be, we were all over them. We dominated them. They didn't really offer very much apart from scoring that first goal, which was a dreadful mistake on at least a few counts. Because it isn't just Saka who should be blamed as well. I mean, he gets the lion's share of it because that pass was dreadful. But Partey was caught out. That goal would never have been scored had there been a right back. And in as much as people are going to try to defend Ramsdale by saying, it was a fluke from Pereira because he obviously meant to chip him and he ended up miscuing into the net. What the hell was he doing coming all the way out? Seriously, you don't do that as a goalkeeper. You don't go walkabout like that. And of course, again, we tried to make sure we strung a few passes together. We were somewhat flat, really, because most of our shots on target weren't really troubling our ex-goalkeeper, and we never really looked like posing much of a threat in that first half. It was in the second half, of course, that obviously Trossard came off and Nketiah came on. But for me, the real impact sub was a certain guy who came from Portugal to play for Arsenal. Vieira, oh, Vieira, oh. And the reason why I would possibly have him as my man of the match, with all due respect to the likes of Gabriel Martinelli, is because Martinelli did play the whole 100 minutes, and he did work quite hard down the left. He wasn't really able to find his shooting boots, but it was his wonderful pass that got Fabio Vieira in with that attempt to sort of try and get into the goal, and he ended up being upended by Kenny Tete, and we scored the penalty. And the narrative again, Del, will be that we should have won this game. But I'll tell you what, that Eddie Nketiah goal should never have been allowed to stand because Callum Bassey was down injured, and he was injured for quite some time. Of the many complaints about Paul Tierney's performance, we said goodbye to one Tierney and had another Tierney in action today at the Emirates. And this Tierney is a person who will either be a figure of love and a figure of hate. I think he's absolutely incompetent. He should never have allowed play to continue with Bassi on the ground, and it ended up, being a goal in our favour. Now, a lot of people will say, "What the hell are you on about, Manny? It's in our favour. You should be happy." And of course, credit to Nketiah, it was a more than decent finish. But then we just couldn't take any more of our chances. We went to sleep at the back, and then Palhinha ended up scoring, and the man marking was non-existent. I'm going to say something right now, Del, before I speak any further. I'm glad this result happened because you sometimes need to have a disgusting sickener like this to make you realize that everything you're doing is not coming up roses. And hopefully Arteta will take a look at this result and see and say to himself, you know what, maybe my tactics haven't worked. Because if the first goal was a mistake at right back, the second goal was once again a mistake at left back. And you were talking about playing Zinchenko. All I can say, mate, is be careful what you wish for because you will get it. Giving the ball away and seeing the corner being given, and from there Palhinha scored, and the rest is history. So Arteta has to sort of realize his tactics really aren't working, but I think we should give him some credit for, being very proactive with his substitutions and seeing most of them, come off. But again, those two goals wouldn't have been conceded if his tactics hadn't been so arse backwards in the first place. So, as I said, I'm glad this result happened because if this doesn't give Arteta the kick up the backside he needs and makes him sit down and analyze his game and say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do things this way, nothing will. Because I was expecting Arsenal to win today by at least 2 goals and lay down a marker. Darren Sullivan was on his way to the game. He was expecting a 3-0 win. Fat lot of good that prediction went, going behind 1-0 in the first minute. He must have been sick to his stomach, poor chap. But again, this is the type of result that proves that no matter that if we aren't able to get results against the Fulham team that was so bereft of confidence after that chastening home defeat to Brentford, we're certainly not going to win the league. And that's not being negative. That's me basing this thing on the way we performed so far. And unless we pull our socks up as a team, unless Arteta pulls his socks up as a manager, we're not going to get any further with this. We played our best football last season using a 4-2-3-1, flat back 4, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and 1 lone striker. Even if it was Jesus, who wasn't exactly prolific, at least he was scoring a few goals. And then, we were winning games left, right, and centre and playing some beautiful football. But now with this particular formation, Partey coming in, getting himself caught out, I mean, is he really going to justify these mistakes being made, saying that the reward outweighs the risk? In certain games, you've got to take more risks because risks will bring, if you avoid risks, that in itself will guarantee a reward. But he doesn't understand that. I don't want to speak for too long because I want to give Mr. Walsh his chance to speak. But one thing, I'm going to say this right now. I did say that if we didn't beat Fulham by at least 2 or 3 goals, we'd have no chance of winning the league. We drew to them today, 2-2, and people are going to say we should have won, but we didn't really deserve anything more than what we got. We didn't deserve more than a point. It might have been perhaps a little bit harsh on us if we had lost, but we weren't worthy of anything more than a point. Done for now.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, Manny. There, it's like, you know, I just was looking at the comment there. Who's the chunks of goals we're getting is like luck. It is like a lot of it has been luck with the penalties and stuff like that. Like, you know, to get us in games and the Palace game and stuff like that. Like, you know, but you can't ride your luck with, like, you know, through a season and hope that other teams drop points and stuff like that. Like, I was looking today, United were losing 2-0. They come back and win 3-0 or 3-2. Sorry. Like, you know, we're playing them next week. For me, that's a derby game for me. You know what I mean? Being an Irish Arsenal fan, that's a huge game for me. Is this team up for it? Certainly not with the tactics we're fucking playing there at the start. Kyle, I'll give it to you, mate. First of all, what do you make of the starting lineup? You know, what way are you making, man?
First of all, boy, big up to you for having me on the show. Big up to Manny and another legend after coming in there. Big up to Warren. And to be quite honest with you, that boy, and I'd like to apologise. You might hear traffic going by me. The reason why there's traffic going by me is because I decided to go and do a bit of painting. Because that Arsenal Football Club is an absolute shambles there, boy. I'm not going to sit here and cover it up. I'm fucking sick, Sam. How many more times do I have to say it? I said on your show last week, if everybody looks back, I said that Manchester City will win the league title by Christmas. It's over. Our league campaign is over already. People might say I'm over-exaggerating. That's only a draw, that we got 7 points out of 3 games. Bullshit. We're not good enough. This is Fulham you're talking about. Fulham. It's a disgrace. Arteta with the lineup, embarrassing. Why is he playing Partey right back? He has to drop fucking Saka. He has to kick the ball in 5 months. The man is worn out. He's tired. Adrian Keating comes on. Don't get me started. 65 million on Havertz. There's lads over here playing football on the green here that's 10 times better. It's embarrassing. He's playing for Arsenal. And he's putting in performances like that. 315,000 a week for that waster. It's fucking sickening. Arteta is not the man. How many more times do we have to say it? He's out of his depth. The whole thing is fucking embarrassing. And I'm supposed to be going over to the Man United game next week to see that shit. Fucking unbelievable. Fucking Fulham. I pass it on to someone there, boy, because I'm fucking fuming here. Because the season is already finished. And I don't want anyone coming out saying, get behind the team, support the team. You have to get behind the boys. They're fucking finished. They're not going to win anything. I want to see trophies. There's none coming. Wake up.
This is it. Like, Kyle, you always wind me up as well. Like, you know, we get each other going. Like, you know, I sort of had me little mini sort of rush of blood to the head, but you're getting me fucking going again, man. Like, it's... I don't understand it. Like, is he trying to do the experimental with the lesser teams? Because it's going to be interesting what starting 11 he's going to do against United next week. You know, it's not experimental. You just, like, the thing, if Arteta had a fallen out with Gabriel Magalhaes, you have to just forget about it. Get over it, shake hands, or else tell each other, you're a prick, I don't want to fucking talk to you, but I'll go on the pitch and I'll give you 110 fucking %. Get over it. You know what I mean? In life, people are fucking assholes, but you might have to just work with them sometimes. Just get it fucking over it to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like, fuck me. It's Arteta, for me, no, I'm not sure what's happening, but for me, he's trying to just determine, I'm the boss. You can't have a disagreement with me, or you're fucking out of the club, or you're out of the team. You know? And I just want to just hit up the comments there.
Del Boy, just before you do that, Del Boy. Yeah. He's also after getting rid of Kieran Tierney. Probably the best step back in the Premier League. This is going to come back and bite us.
It has.
And it's not care for Gabriel be gone as well. What the fuck is this man doing? He's a clown. He's a fucking clown. Get him out of the club.
It's like Mane just says there, it has, because the goal today, Zinchenko, gave the ball away. And look, I thought Zinchenko, when he did come on, he actually played okay, along with Vieira. Vieira played really well. I'll give them that credit, you know what I mean? But I agree with you. And I said it in a video there the other day. I says, like, I wanted to see the likes of Tierney, Martinelli, Jesus on that sort of left-hand side, Declan Rice even sitting in the middle. Like, fuck me, give it to us. I'm telling you now, that would have worked 100%. Not this fucking bullshit of coming in, because every fucking Premier League team knows the way Arsenal now play. They know if they see Partey in the right back position, he's only going in one direction, and it's pulling in there, and we have the 3 centre backs. I manage an under fucking 12s team, and I know that. You know what I mean? I'm no fucking football expert. Miles away from it. There's people on this panel who'd know more about football than me, but I can fucking see it. What do the professionals fucking see? Jesus Christ, give us a fucking break and try and mix stuff fucking up for a fucking change.
You see that why here's a United, 2 United fans coming down the footpath here, fucking laughing at me here now, pointing in the car, I'm in the car. Fuck off the fucking 2 yous. Fuck off. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Fucking scum.
Yeah, I know. My phone is hopping here as well. That's why it's a big fuck. Please do like and subscribe. It's like this every week. But I just want to hit up SLHD. Fair play to you. I love it. I love it. What the fuck would you buy that t-shirt, Del Boy? Lost respect for you. Come here, mate. When your name is Del Boy, things fall off the back of trucks. Don't worry. Del Boy didn't pay much for this. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? It was on the floor. It was outside me house. Had to pick it up. So there you go, right? If you want more, just DM me. I'll get this all free. Remember I told you when Arsenal fucked me up with the Everton game last season, me and Kyle Walsh, because the Queen's death and all that and stuff like that, they cancelled the game. I lost money on flights. I lost money on hotels. And I says, Arsenal, I'll get it back. I'm getting it back. Remember the other merch I have as well? Don't you worry. I'm getting it fucking back. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's move on. Warren, you were doing your usual match days. What would we call it? The match day shows or something like that.
Yeah, match day live.
Yeah, match day lives. Absolutely brilliant. I had you on in the corner. There was fireworks going off my phone, and I was afraid to look. I was there, what the fuck? Where's it going? But like, from your point of view, when the results were coming in, when Arsenal went 2-1 up, did you think that we were going to just rock on and see the game out?
I did, actually. I did, because I didn't think they would let this mob back in. Well, I just didn't, because I don't think that Fulham would have been good enough to do it, because they'd lost their best player. And yeah, and mate, I'm absolutely fuming. I lost my shit at the end of the show, right? When Arsenal went 2-1 up, there's a fella in my chat saying Arteta getting the job done, right? And I just went ballistic. I went absolutely ballistic, because we've had this for the last 4 years. The man is not competent to do the job he's being paid to do. He's not under any shape or form. The man is not competent, right? We've seen him trying to destroy players' careers. We've seen him like causing mayhem, confusing players, setting up teams that are tactical systems that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, playing players out of position. Thomas Partey at right back. It's just absolute shamble. Buying players that have proven themselves not to be good enough for the Premier League in Kai Havertz. And I don't want to hear anything about people saying to me, oh, you're negative. No, this, that, or the other. No, you're the negative ones for fucking backing this bullshit for the last 4 years. It's not acceptable. This is Arsenal Football Club. We're the third biggest club in the fucking country. Probably in the top 10 in the fucking world football. And you're telling me that we got to put up with this bullshit. No, get him out. £700 million he's spent, and we're struggling to beat the likes of Fulham and Nottingham Forest at home. It's not fucking good enough, right? We should be putting 3s and 4s past Nottingham Forest and Fulham at home, or 5s, not fucking drawing at home with them and fucking getting disputed goals and penalties to get a draw. They should have fucking won that game today. They should have done. That fucking penalty, it was a fucking debate about whether it was offside or not. Then there was the equaliser, the goal that put us 2-1 up. There was an issue with that as well. This is it's unbelievable. 700 fucking £million. It's not 70 million pound, £7 million, 700. And the squad is worth over £1 billion. And he can't even fucking sustain a title challenge. It's shocking. He is the worst manager in this fucking club's history. And he's the most protected person in a management position in the history of the fucking planet. It's unbelievable the amount of fucking protection and bullshit that fucking flies around this fucking absolute wanker. Because that is what he is. He's fucking not competent. And I'm telling you now, if I saw that fucking clown on fire in the street, I wouldn't cross the road to fucking piss on him. If he was on fire, I fucking had enough of it, Del Boy. He needs to fucking go tonight. Right? And I heard that last season he was contemplating quitting because he wasn't sure that he was up to the job. Well, I could have fucking told him that the day he was fucking appointed. It's not fucking good enough. It's unbelievable. The players he's got at his disposal, the money he's fucking spent, it's an absolute fucking shambles, top to bottom. No one at the club's got a fucking clue what they're doing. No one at the club gives a shit. Get the fucking lot of them out and get people in who do know what they're doing and do give a shit. But I'm fucking sick of it. And with that, I'll shut up.
Yeah, thanks for that. Static, I'll come to you, man. What are you making of it? Like, you know, from the starting 11 to the final whistle today.
First of all, hey everyone, and hey everyone in the live chat. That was an absolutely awful game, boys. I mean, once again, we played the same lineup. Party at right back, inverted right back. Kiwior playing left back. It's just, I mean, the only positive I could see from that lineup was Trossard started. Yay, finally. But then I think he was apparently received an injury, so he had to go off. If so, fair enough. If not, I wasn't too happy with Nketiah coming on. Although, fair play to him, he did actually score. So well done to him. The fact that I don't know if you boys noticed, but I think we slightly changed the formation during the second half because we definitely were playing more like we used to play, although I could be wrong. But I just noticed that we're playing slightly different. But it's just... Fulham were the home team, boys. Let's be honest. They were the home team. We were definitely the away team. We just couldn't get going. But like I said, it's all because of that stupid formation we played in the first half. And I agree with Warren. I agree with all you guys. We didn't deserve to win the game. Draw is probably more or less a fair result. But there's no excuses. It's Fulham. We should have won at home. Although I just want to point out that the last at least 10 years or so, maybe even more than that, every time we play against Fulham at home, we always struggle, boys. We always struggle against Fulham at home. I don't know why. Away, we thrash them at home. We thrash them away, But at home, we always struggle to win them against them by 1 or 2 goals. I mean, last season, boys, 12 months ago, we won 2-1. This season, nearly 2-1, but this time 2-2. Their goals. Oh, God. They were great goals. They punished our defence and well taken. But I lost the plot as soon as that corner they scored. What the hell was that? The marking. I mean, he was completely unmarked, Palhinha. I mean, it was a great goal, but it's just, where was the defence, boys? But yeah, I don't know what else to say apart from the fact that Havertz, once again, he choked. The best thing, that was the only highlight of the game I can take from that game was, well, actually two, Trossard starting and Havertz being substituted. And can I just say, boys, look, well done to Fabio Vieira. He actually played really well, and I was really impressed with his performance. It's a shame he didn't start, though, but I can understand why. But still, like I said, the mistake Arteta made was he should have taken Havertz off at half-time, as well as Trossard.
Like, see, the only thing about that stat, I'll say is, I think, is this his first time he substitute Havertz? Because the Crystal Palace game, he played him the whole 90 minutes and he was fucking dog shit as well. And the Force game as well. You know, so, like, just sort of coming to you, back to you there, mate. Like, is Arteta slowly thinking, I don't think it's working at the minute for Havertz? You know, is that your mindset?
That's a good question. I really hope so. For his sake, I really hope so. But let's be honest, we're literally clutching at straws here. So I don't think so. He probably will. Well, don't be surprised if he starts him again against Man United. Oh my God, I could see it happening now.
Like, you know what I mean? For me, if anyone that warrants a starting position for the United game, it's Vieira. Like, you know, for me, when he came on, he changed the game a bit. And look, I know Zinchenko was at fault for the corner and the goal and sort of stuff like that, the equaliser, but he did play well when he came on as well. You know, I have to call it the way I seen it. But for me, Vieira would start over Havertz all day long against United. I just want to see for that United game, I want to see Odegaard, Rice and Partey in that midfield role. And the back four, as I'm talking about, puts Zinchenko.
Go on. Sorry, I was just saying I'd start you over Havertz.
I know, exactly. You know,
go on.
It's look, I just want to go to Central. Big up, man. Thanks for coming along. What did you make of that today?
Yeah, that is shocking. Ramsdale, man, I don't know. I blamed Saka for the first goal. You know, that was poor, and Ramsdale's like completely. Man, Ramsdale's shocking, man. Play Ray. I don't understand why Ray is not starting. You know, what's the point buying him? But anyway, the starting 11 is actually still crap. Don't understand what the fetish of having Partey as a right back. I think he plays right back for his country. Playing White as a centre back. We all know he's not good enough as a centre back. He's a right back. Kivior, once again, Gabriel is on the bench. I don't know. Havertz, I had enough Havertz, man. Not good enough. I don't understand Arteta's mentality. You know, it's good on the brights. On the only positive or some positives, you know, is Trossard starting, man. That is a good positive, but besides that, you know, and besides that, we should have ripped not rip him up, we should have beaten him, win with ease. But now we're just in those 3 games, you know, I'm not saying we played badly, we played okay. We should do a lot better, man. And against Manchester United, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. This is not title challenging mentality. This is more like something like a mid-table or even a relegation mentality, man. I don't understand what Arteta's problem, man. Playing players out of his position. It's just like this dude think he's I don't understand. People praise this dude, put this dude on that huge mantle, like he's the best young manager. No, he's not. He's not the best young manager. How's he the best young manager? It's like, yeah, who gives a fuck, you know? Who gives a fuck he's the best young manager? Who gives a fuck? He's not. Never have been. He's still. But playing Kivior, you know, what's that all about? Gabriel's a good defender, man. I think he's playing Saliba as a left back, you know, even though he's a centre back. I don't understand. Why just play 3 in the back? Kivior, Saliba, and Gabriel. But no, it's just this dude is arrogant, super fucking arrogant, you know. But My other like two positives into this game is Nketiah and Saka scoring those goals. Without them, I think that would be embarrassing losing to Fulham. It's been a long time since Fulham won against Arsenal. I can't remember what's the last time they actually beat us at the Emirates. It's been a very long time, but it's unacceptable, and I think Arteta needs to take responsibility, man.
Yeah.
He's gone till November. He's got until November. If we're nowhere near the same position as last season, not even top or even challenging for the league in that league challenge contending position, so crash out of the Champions League group, actually crash out in Europe, not just like crash out in our group, like third place or in the Europa League in the new year, just full on crash out in Europe. And if we're nowhere near into the closing stages of an FA Cup and the League Cup, gone. Because, man, 4 to go on 5 years of crap, man. It's not on. People people accepting this like this man is going to do anything. He's not. Yeah, he's won the FA Cup. What's he do? Yeah, that's the only positive in this Arteta reign. We're crashing out in Europe by these small teams like Olympiacos and Villarreal and Sporting Lisbon. No disrespect to those teams, and we should be winning. It's like and also finish eighth, and we'll finish second. What to do? But besides that, we should be winning. This club should never be in challenging top four, man. This club should be challenging for league titles and winning trophies. We're the third biggest club in the country, and we're acting like fucking some small team from from the Championship, League One, or somewhere like a mid-table Premier League team. Man, come on, we're Arsenal Football Club. Come on, we're falling behind. We're falling behind for the last 17 years now. But to wrap this up, I'm a bit disappointed. Like points drop. But we got to we got to do better against Manchester United, man. I swear to God, if we lose to Man United, man, that is like Jesus Christ, man. This is going to be a bumpy ride for this season.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Del boy.
I mean, it's just fucking. I just sort of kept this comment up, but first of all, I just want to welcome Fitzer. Fitzer, what's the crack, man? How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Good, you?
Oh, good, but I'm fucking annoyed, and I hope you are too.
Oh, yeah.
What are you saying?
Well, the formation, this whole formation thing, it's from Arteta it's just absolutely awful. He had a winning formation and a way of playing that mostly worked last season, and because he thinks he's a cross between Pep, Wenger, George Graham, and Ferguson, he thinks he can just change it all to shoehorn an awful Kai Havertz. He's absolutely awful. And he's been so stubborn, Arteta, by shoehorning this player in, playing players out of position who clearly aren't comfortable, and he continues with his formation. And we're seeing the chickens have come home to roost, as we saw today, against a bang average Fulham side that went down at 10 men, and we couldn't even hold on to a 2-1 lead. For me, even though I'm not a fan of Arteta, I always felt that perhaps we should give him this season because of what he did last season. But he's really given me, I think he's taken as far as he can vibes. I really think, like Brendan Rodgers, after he messed up that season, Liverpool nearly won the league when Gerrard fell over. It really looks as though that Arteta's taken as far as he can. It's just terrible decision making. Absolutely. Trossard has been wonderful, but every forward in that first half was useless. But Trossard was the one that gets hauled off when Havertz was the one, obviously, to be called off. I'm amazed that Havertz was even substituted. And again, Zinchenko can't defend. He can infer all he likes, but he cannot defend. And our best left back is in Spain. It's just make sense. It just makes no sense. And all the get along gang and all the AFC tossers and everything, we say, oh no, it's the spaces Havertz plays in. You got to. It's like he's a pianist. You got to listen to the notes that he doesn't play as opposed to the notes he is playing. Well, no, I look at what do you create and do you score? And twice today he was needlessly offside. Needlessly, just look along the line. You tell your 5-year-old, look along the line. And he doesn't, and he's offside twice.
And Fitz, just to cut across you there, like my son Zach was in watching the match with me, obviously, and we're now like under 12s, we're teaching the kids offside rules and everything like that. I just kept on saying it to him. There's your offside. That's how you're offside. Now he knows how to do offside, but that is exactly the way I'm trying to teach us. It was just like fucking they're teaching us here.
Yeah,
like how not to fucking do it.
Yeah, we've done our money, 65 million, we've done our money. That 65 million, we could have added another 30, 40 million and got Osimhen. We could have added another 5 or 10 million and get Tony. We could have we'd have paid less and got Maddison. And got Kai Havertz. I tell you, mate, he's awful. He's absolutely awful. And he's costing us. He is absolutely costing us. And if he plays him against the Manx, then it's Father Christmas settings all over again.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, it's just, just from the start when I seen it, I just knew it's going to be a rocky day today. I just knew. Yeah. And then from the off, I was just going, I was standing up. I didn't even take the seat. I didn't even put my fucking arse in the seat and the sofa to sit down. Matt, how are you doing, brother? How are you keeping?
Dale Boy, Monty, Kyle, Fitz, my man, Static.
Matt,
what's going on, brother? Good to see you, my man. Brother.
Good to see you, boys.
Brothers. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a very long season.
Mm-hmm.
This manager just didn't have a clue, man. It's time to go. I told Gunner after we got off, I said, I'll start it. Nobody else wants to say it. I'll say it. It's time to go. It's time for him to go. Yeah. The man has come right into the season where he left off last season.
God rest your soul, Claude Caligari.
Yeah, it's time to go. Yeah.
So you're calling it already, Matt? Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to go. What's going to change there, boy? Tell me what's going to change. What have you seen in the last 6 games, going back to last season, coming into where we are now? What's changed? Nothing. Nothing's changed. We knew we needed a strike at the end of last season. We knew where the holes were in this team that we need to get sorted out. And here we are going into next week against a massive game. Massive. Matter of fact, the next 7 games are going to be massive. Massive. Nobody's talking about what's coming behind United. After United, we're about 3 games away from City. Then you got to deal with Liverpool, Chelsea, all that lot. Yeah. And then here we are dropping points today against 10 men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 10 men. We dropping points. Scuffle early this week against Palace. Scuffle. Both games, we need the penalty kicks. And we've been praying to the gods that Nketiah finds a way to score a goal. And if you think that he can keep this up for 10 to 12 games, then I keep telling y'all I've got a bridge back there in my back room that I'm more willing to bring out and give to you. It ain't happening, y'all. This season is done. We look like we're going for 4th place. That's what we look like, a 4th place team. We don't look like a team that finished quote unquote second, that pushed, as people were saying, City. We got lucky against City. We out of the first game with Forest, we didn't look good. You look at Palace, then you look at Fulham today. Then look at right back, Partey at right back. He's been doing that since last season. Since the close of last season, y'all. And then Zinchenko is back in town. It's just like Fitz said, he's great going forward. But you start talking about defending, it's a different it's a proposition. Look at the goal we gave up. When y'all get a chance, when y'all get off of this, go look at the goal and replay and look at how many players were standing where that gentleman was that scored.
Yeah. There's
probably 6 players standing right there where he is. And nobody put a move on him. Nobody was paying attention. We're done. We're done. We need a striker. We're selling a striker. Just think about that. We need a striker, but we're selling. We sold. Excuse me. We sold a striker. A 20-plus goal striker. I mean, we are done. This fan base, they are so obsessed with feeling good that they you can't see the forest for the trees. And people are going to be saying, "Oh well, we didn't lose the game today, but we should have won that game. Shut it down, play defense." But when I was on the watch along with Lee, when we took off Party and the other fella there, I can't quite remember who it was. I knew then. I said defensively we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And thank God Adama Traore can't finish. Because otherwise the game was over. The game was over.
And I even think that Saliba was just there. I actually have to take this guy down. And for some reason he didn't. And he probably just goes, actually no, Traore can't score.
Yeah. I told people all summer. And y'all saw it. I told people, I said, this Havertz thing is just not going to work. $65 million spent on that. And you're telling me there's not any more quality in Europe that could have came in. Just like the brother said, you could have went and got Madison. Who scored today, by the way?
Yep.
He scored today. Yeah. He's out there wheeling and dealing over at Spurs. I was told by the Arsenal fan base, he's not good enough. He's too much. That's too much money to spend on him. And here we are spending money on a player that the first thing they said, well, he scored in the Champions League. He scored in the Champions League. He scored in the Champions League. He scored in the final. What has he done since the final? How about that? What has he done since the final? Nothing. And there's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. I've been telling people this all summer that the man that.
Sorry, Matt, to cut across. Yeah. You even see when we were getting Havertz, right? And Chelsea people just messaging me and just sort of smiley face and everything like that. So when they're fucking delighted to get rid of him, maybe that's alarm bells.
Let me throw this your way, Dale boy. We have funded another set of players for Chelsea. Another year. We do this every year. We fund their transfer. The player we were after, they buy the player.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here with a player that's no good. How many times has it happened to us, y'all? How many times have we seen this? Over and over and over. It's time to clean. It's time to go in and clean this rot. I had a root canal today. It's time to do a root canal on this. Trust me. The same procedure needs to be done on this team today. It needs to be done. We need a root canal of upper management, and we need a root canal of some of these players. We're toast, man. Because people keep talking about City. I'm more concerned with Liverpool, Chelsea when they get in order. Spurs. Look at Spurs. United hadn't lost a game. We play them next week, and that's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be a loss. We are in major trouble, and we're just what is 3 games into the season. And Warren, God bless you, Warren has been texting me off the cuff all summer, like, Matt, it's gonna be rough. And it has been rough, and it's gonna be rough going forward.
Yeah.
What we saw today was if we don't get a striker, y'all, woe be unto us. Woe be unto us.
Like I think with that thing, right? And I put a video out during the week, and I was just saying that he never gave Balogun a chance. Even in pre-season, he was starting Eddie over him, and you're just going, Jesus, we know what fucking Eddie can do. Give Balogun a chance before you get rid of him. Just throw him in there for the few games in the pre-season. See what happens. Throw him in the Charity Shield. And then if it's not working, then just go, right, fair enough. Off with you.
I think everybody on this panel had that mindset. Let's just see what the guy can do. Let's run him out. Let's see what we can do. Can we get a few run of games in? And I think everybody would accept. If he did not could not been up to snuff, we would have been fine with it. But to not even try the guy is unacceptable.
Yeah, and just before I go over to Kyle Walsh, please do subscribe if you're new around here and hit the like button. Really appreciate it. We do this after every Arsenal game. We have a fan can call in. Come on, you can show your face. You don't have to show your face, and just have your say once you're respectful. Kyle, over to you, mate. What do you want to say on that?
Yeah, I'd just like to say a big up to Matt there. Great to be on the screen.
Oh, it's good to see you, brother.
And I was just listening to the chat there about the striker. We need a striker. We know we need a striker. But when I talk about Arsenal winning, I want Arsenal to win the Premier League. I want Arsenal to win it. Not challenge, win. And we are not going to win no Premier League title with Eddie Nketiah, Havertz, Jesus, and Barragan. None of them are good. Now, that might surprise a lot of people, but I'm telling you, none of them are good enough. And all you have to do is look at the state that we're in. We have no striker. Nketiah is rubbish. Jesus will score you 10 goals. Good player. Different type of player. Come in, hold up the game, hold up play. Cause a bit of hassle for defenders. But he's not going to score you 20, 25 goals a season. That's what we need. Man City has it with Haaland. Salah at Liverpool. Rashford on his day at Man United. We don't have that kind of player. So until then, we're in serious bother. But Matt is right in what he said at the beginning of his chat. Buckle up because it's going to be a long, long season. Because we're not winning anything.
Nope.
And I'm not accepting this second, third, and fourth bullshit this season. Excuse after excuse. There's already excuses being thrown around. We haven't got the players and we haven't got the management. That's it. It's simple. And we just have to accept this, that because there's going to be no change. The only time to be changed is if the fans realise what's going on and not show up for games. Boycott games. Until then, we have to sit back and put up with this bullshit week in, week out.
It's rough, man. It's gonna be a rough season, man. I keep telling people it's going to be rough. The fact that we sat here and spent $65 million. I sat right there with Monty. I sat right there with Tony Clark Gunn. I sat there with Ola. We all sat right there on that show. And I said $65 million for Kai Havertz is unacceptable. And when you watched him out there today, I couldn't find anything good to say about that gentleman. Nothing. And the manager today, did y'all see the look in his face? That was the same look y'all saw in the last 6 games of the season. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Clueless.
Like looking to his coaches and everything like that. Like for me, then, like were we foolish because we got rid of Steve Round, the coach? Was he a big deal?
Make you wonder, don't it, Dale? Make you wonder. Was he the driving force?
Now let's remember, people, he helped manage with Sam fucking Allardyce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he hasn't replaced him either. He's looking on the bench going, what? He also said in his press conference this week, he says, oh yeah, I'm going to stay in my technical area and I'm going to be this and that. No, you got a yellow card, mate. You know what I mean?
2 in 2 games this year.
In 2 games, yeah. I'm just like, he's going to get a suspension.
Yeah. You know what? The fact that he came out at the beginning of the season saying that he started to step away from the job, that's very telling. That's very telling. Imagine just don't come out and say that kind of stuff if the job is not too big for him. This is what happens. We all have seen it. We all of us are adults. We've seen that one person that gets a job. They just they wait through the interview. Well, can you come in? Can you come in for a couple extra hours on the weekend? Yeah. Can you stay after hours? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Whatever it is to get the job. And then when you get the job, you realize it's you're in over your head because you weren't qualified for it. And that's what we've got. We've got a manager that was never qualified for this job that has the job.
Matt, you are absolutely right. I was just going to say Arteta has not even got any UEFA Pro license, coaching license, whereas Marco Silva, his opponent for Fulham, he does. And this will make you laugh, boys. Even our assistant coach, Airport Albert, even he's a qualified coach, boys. He has his qualifications. Arteta has not got one single.
I'm a certified. I'm a qualified. I have a certified United States Soccer Federation coaching license sitting right down the hall.
Bro, respect.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm more qualified than Arteta to coach.
You are. Oh my god! By the way, Del Boy panel, to answer Central's question, he asks if Arsenal's ever lost to Fulham. I can tell you right now, no, never. We've never lost at home to Fulham. Never. That almost happened today.
That's right. Yeah, we've lost away, but I don't think we've ever lost at home. You're right.
We've never lost at home to Fulham.
Yeah,
never.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Manny,
Yeah.
I just want to come to you. You're being quiet. Are you exercising under your table? Is there a punch bag of Arteta there, or how are you keeping your cool, mate?
Mate,
why he's lowered the camera.
If I had an Arteta punch bag, you'd see me hold it right up and give him a few right now. Or else I'd show you an Arteta dartboard and literally, or a voodoo doll or what have you. But the reason why I've been quiet is obviously because we've got a lot of new faces coming in. First of all, Fitz, below me, welcome to the channel, mate. Wonderful to see you. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting before, but good to have you on.
Thank you.
Welcome, Fitz.
As always, Mr. Odom, wonderful to see you, brother. How have you been keeping? And we've been, I've got a mate who's back in Atlanta, and he was bemoaning the Falcons, saying how awful they've been. I'm certain at this point you'd rather watch the Falcons now than Arsenal, eh?
Oh yeah, at least they'll give you a piece of a game. Gave you a piece of a game.
Yeah. So I really go ahead, Del.
Yeah, no, just I have loads in the back room. I can see you
Hey,
guys.
I'll drop down so people can rotate in. I just wanted to hop in and have my say, man. It's always good to see you all, and we will all be in touch, man.
Yeah,
Cheers.
yeah, Matt, come here. Do you know what I'll do? I must do a stream with you sometime soon, right? We'll have a good old chat.
I'll tell you what, man. If anybody's free Tuesday, me and Jez we've got a show. If anybody wants to hop on, just DM me. Let me know.
Yeah,
Big up,
yeah.
man.
All right.
Thanks for
Southern
dropping by.
Gooner quality
Take
stuff.
care, Matt.
I can
Cheers,
vouch
man.
for that terrific stuff.
All right.
Cheers,
I'm
Matt.
just
Thank
going to
you.
go as they came in here, and sorry, I'm just going to add in Darren, because I know he's at the ground and you may have bad coverage. But Darren, what you were at the game today? What did you make of it from the start?
Well, from the start, he's changed things again. I kind of thought he might have dropped Eddie because of his two misses against Palace, that chip he had, and he hit the post. And I thought, as he put Trossard in, like as a punishment sort of thing, fair enough. Trossard is quality. But even Trossard hasn't been put. Everyone is played in the wrong position. Arteta's just putting square pegs in round holes. Again, Kiwior will never be a left back. He's absolute rubbish, right? And we get in the ground, the game kicks off, and we all know we ain't got a right back. Fulham get the ball, stick it down our right, straight away, 1-on-1, goal. Because we ain't got a right back. Because Partey, I don't know where he was. Where was he? For the goal.
Party was at the party.
Yeah, he's basically a great midfielder who's putting it right back, and he's not. Do you know what? The overall pressure I'm getting from that team in the first half is they're confused, pissed off, that there's no continuity. When you go to work every day and you work in a team, everyone knows strengths and weaknesses, what people can and can't do, and you all acclimatise and you build up a relationship. The fans are singing, "We got Tierney at the back." He's not at this football club anymore. He's gone. He's in Spain. Hello.
Sorry.
Right. Now, I'll just move on to Kai Havertz, right? I thought I'd get behind him a little bit because at the end of the day, he's an Arsenal player. Let's give him a little bit of a chance. But I'm telling you, he hasn't got a hungry bone in his body. He looks like he's just overweight. He's not overweight, but do you know what I mean? He's got no fucking hunger. And go back to his interview when he got signed for this football club. He sort of chilled out, he relaxed, he sat on the table and he went, "I've joined the family." Yeah, that was his professional footballer speak for, "I'm at my retirement home now." This is what Chelsea do when they've had enough with you. They send you down the road to 0-5. Yeah, you get like a little pension. I got my pension now. I've won the Champions League with Chelsea. Got me pension payday now. Don't have to run for the ball. He had a golden chance to score in the first half, and anyone would have slid through. But he just tried to run and then at the back post he had that slight little flick that he did when he was in space. Utter garbage. And how they're gonna sign this one off, God only knows, because he cost 65 million and everyone's going to be saying, well, you can't keep keeping him in the team. And you know, the weird thing is, as much as we berate Eddie as being shit, and when he came on, he changed the game for us. He got in the middle and immediately he was knocking the ball out wide, and he gave us. Eddie actually woke us up today. It's unbelievable. I never thought I'd hear myself say it, but when he come on, we actually looked threatening and dangerous. And of course, he got that goal. The ball was put in the middle, and he slid in. And it was a good goal he got, but you know the crowd. And then we're 2-1 up, and everyone. And my lad next to me saying to me, by the way, he's going. And I said to him, I said, this ain't done. We ain't done this yet. We're 2-1 up with, 10, 15 minutes left. And it's just fucking unbelievable that they've just put a bog standard crossing and someone's just tucked it away, run off and cheered all the Fulham Knightsbridge sort of Chelsea cast-offs to celebrate. It just overwhelms me, and I'm just bewildered how Arteta can get away with being the manager of this football club and just make these changes. These players, they look confused. They don't look happy. Saka doesn't look happy. He don't. I'm sorry. He tried, but even he bottled it at the near post in the first half. He had a golden opportunity to get a header in, and he sort of come in and sort of dinked it with his head. Like, no, these players are fucked. Psychologically, I mean, not necessarily physically, but they've had enough of Arteta. They have, and none of them will say it because he's the messiah, isn't he, with the fans. But I think privately, they've had enough. What would you think if you was in that squad there? Our best left-back's been sent packing on loan to Spain. We got like 6 foot plus geezer at left-back. Kirill. It's daft. It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't.
Like, Darren, just wanted to say, like, what was the atmosphere like in the ground? Because, like, at home, listening to it on the TV, it sounded electric.
Well, I've got to be honest. I was giving Arteta lots of stick in the ground, saying Havertz was crap, Arteta was a joke. I'm piping that out. And I didn't get one person around me challenge me and say, oh, no, you're unfair, mate, and all this. And, I think there was people around me agreeing. Everybody knows, I think. Everybody knows. This is a fake show. But when's it going to end? That's the question. I mean, the atmosphere got better in the second half. Yeah, it did. Because we went 2-1 up, and then the team started playing better when Eddie come on. But I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. I've come into Finsbury Park because it's all a bit lively around the ground and that. It's probably the best place for reception. But and before the game, I did a little thing on Insta. I've come out of Seven Sisters. All the burger vans have all gone. You used to walk down St Thomas's Road towards Gillespie Road, and you'd see about 10 burger fans. They've all gone. There's a little sweet shop stall. It's been there since I've been going in the 70s and 80s, right? Or not 70s, but the early 80s. Gone. It's disappeared. It's just really weird, It's a strange old time at Arsenal, really. It's but I don't. And as you quite rightly say, I've caught the last sort of 10. What Matt Southern Gooner was saying there about our next few games. We've just been cleaned out for 2 points by Fulham. I can't see us. I think we're going to get done by Man United next weekend.
I
can't see us beating them. I can't.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree, Darren. Like, you know what I mean? It's fucking. It just doesn't look good from the start. Like, you're basically putting yourself nearly like playing with 10 men from the start, especially if he's playing Kai Havertz, because he was just so lazy looking today. You know what I mean?
It's shocking. It is. I said to my lad, I'll go to some non-league games. I ain't been one for a couple of seasons. I used to go non-league a little bit. He'd struggle in that. He'd struggle at non-league level.
Jesus.
He's just bouncing about and just... he's not. I can't believe it. I can't. But what can you do? We're just the fans at the end of the day, and the people sort of just come to shows and say what we think. But until them fans in the stadium start giving this team an Edu some stick for buying a player for 65 million. Nothing to change because as far as they're concerned, everyone's as happy as Larry.
Yeah, 100%. Kyle, do you want to jump in there? What were you saying, mate?
Yeah, I said Reds are not going to meet Darren. I was talking to Darren. So the next time, Darren, I hook up with you for a pint and a chat before the game.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And secondly, I just want to say, this man has to be sacked today. Arteta has to be sacked today.
Facts.
This business of waiting to next season or the season after. This man stood in a mirror, according to him, and asked himself the question, am I able to manage Arsenal Football Club? Am I good enough? He said that himself. That's not me saying it. So he has doubted himself. This is Arsenal Football Club you're talking about. You're not talking about the local shop on the street corner here. So that means that man knows he ain't fucking good enough. He should be sacked with immediate effect today. And whoever made the decision to sign Havertz should be fucking sacked today as well. Our club is an embarrassment.
Yeah. It's just, it's going to be interesting to see what happens between now and the end of the transfer window. I still think there's a lot of business that has to be done, because if they don't and they're letting Balogun go and they're not going to bring back in another striker, it's a fucking joke. And like Kyle said there, heads have to fucking roll as far as I'm concerned. Guys, I think I'm 5 away or something from 900. If I go get that subs, I'd be fucking delighted. And I'd have about 25 more of them, because I'm going to the pub later on. I'm going doing a quiz. I'm going to fucking school everyone in the fucking pub, because I'm actually good at quizzes. But anyway, I want to come into Fitz as well. Back to Fitz. Fitz, you were saying, are you agreeing with what Matt had to say about it's done for Arteta now? Are you that far gone, as in there's no turning back for Arteta, or are you giving him another chance?
Well, I think surely even Arteta is not that stupid that he'll play the same formation against the Manx on, I think, Sunday we played him. Surely he's not that stupid. If he is, then yeah, he has to go. I've never thought he's good enough for the Arsenal. Never from day one. But I gave him kudos for credit for last season. But they bottled it. They bottled it. So and he the team, and he should own that. What's annoying is today we made the same team mistakes we've made last season, the season before that. Well, ever since Arteta's been here, the same dumbass mistakes we made. Saka plays a nonchalant back pass like he's in training. And he's thinking about what car he's going to buy when he gets home. It's just such a nonchalant pass, and it's not a winning pass. He's not. I don't think our players individually as a team inside are winners. They crave winning. They love winning. They do anything to win. I think they treat it as a job. Saka's on 300 grand a week now. And that was like a pass, like, I'm on 300 grand a week now. I did a nice big piece for the Telegraph, whatever it was, with his face all over the paper. And he plays such a nonchalant back pass. Fair play to him. Penalty was great. But then the equaliser to 2-2, that's his man. That's his man. And he just doesn't do anything about it. We need, if we're to get a true winning mentality to even win the league, or God preserve us, win the Champions League, we are going to need a new manager, I think, because we don't have a winning mentality. They simply don't. And somebody made the point earlier: the players look confused. I agree with you. The players look confused, and Zinchenko, he just can't defend. He can't defend. He had 2 chances to get that ball away, and he's probably crying in the dressing room now. He's weak mentality, and he's a weak defender. And yet these are his favoured players. And Arteta, by letting Balogun go and Tierney go, he's weakened our squad. Weakened them. We're weaker now. And I'm trying to think, well, surely what are you trying to do, Arteta? What are you trying to do? So I'm extremely annoyed, And you guys would be even more annoyed if you could read the after-match quotes Arteta's slinging out. It's just it's so much bullshit he's coming out with.
Do you know what? I saw his face after our equaliser, right? When we scored that penalty and we equalised, it was disgusting. He got off his chair and he smiled like this, like it was all, look. And it's like, well, what are you doing that for, Arteta? Because I tell you what, being 1-0 down at home to Fulham and then just getting back to 1-1 is nothing to be happy about. It's not.
Yeah.
You start smiling and celebrating, yeah, when you're top of the league after 10 games. Other than that, just be miserable. Just take every bit as it comes. You know, and he did exactly the same at Crystal Palace as well. Did exactly the same. When we got that penalty, he looked like he'd won the lottery. It's disgusting.
Yeah. We've done our money on Havertz. We've done our money on Havertz, mate. It's really
he's cooked.
He looks like he doesn't care. He looks like he does not care. Exactly. How dare he wear our shirt and not care? He's like, especially after reject.
Especially after coming from Chelsea, then like you should be like on it straight away. As I said earlier, Martinelli gave him a ball and he was looking for the 1-2, like progression, go forward. And he hits it back. And
where the fuck
is just keeping him playing?
And he's gone. I saw that.
Where's the fucking leaders on the team? Where's the leader? Like Gordy Adams, Dennis Bergkamp came. The great Dennis Bergkamp came. Acting the fucking prick for a few games. Gordy Adams went into the dressing room, grabbed him by the throat. Are you going to play for Arsenal or not? Where's the fucking leader going to do that to Havertz today? I swear the fuck if he was on my team, I'd put his head through the locker. And I tell you, put a performance like that again and kick the fucking head off you in front of the stadium. Absolute clown. Paying for this jersey £315,000 a week.
Yeah.
I get paid pittance. And if I go into my job tomorrow morning and not perform, I'll be gone.
Yeah. If Havertz plays next weekend,
it's a disgrace.
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. If Havertz plays next weekend, that will tell you everything about Arteta. That will tell you absolutely everything about Arteta. If he plays next week, then we play in the same rubbish formation. And if he doesn't play next week and we still play the same formation, that's it for me. That's it. That formation is a train wreck. Absolute train wreck.
They might as well be demoted to the bench for Champions League games. And right, you've played 3 Premier League games. You ain't got to go against inferior opposition. That ain't good enough. Yeah. Have a seat on the bench, son. And your chance will come again in about another 2 or 3 months. That's what I'll be saying to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
If anyone wants to drop out, let me know because I've another few in the background. And
I'm going to drop out, Dale, only because I think it's going to piss down with rain very shortly here, and I'm quite exposed in Finsbury Park. So
yeah. We know all about it.
See you, Darren. Glad you enjoyed the game. Shame about the result.
All right. Cheers.
Big up, Darren.
I'll drop off now as well. Just want to thank you for having me on with all these legends I've watched so many times. Thank you very much, and hopefully you'll have me on again.
All right, boys. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Always welcome, brother.
Thank you very much.
Take care, bro.
And I'll add in an enemy here as well.
Yeah, he was taking the mickey in the chat. I know him fairly well.
Oh, Del boy.
Elliot, shame on you. You know when I come on Eugene's stream, I'm always come in peace, and already you're coming and trying to stir the pot. Shame on you, son.
Yeah, man. The bottle jobs at it again. Yeah.
We chose. We know.
You are boss. It was a typical Arsenal performance. You guys went down early, and then you guys came back, and then again it was like 2-1 up, and then you all had one man advantage as well, and then you guys still bottled the game. And in all honesty, I guess you could have lost that game if only Adama Traore had a bit of a skill in finishing. I think he lacked the finishing there. Or if there was one more man supporting him, you guys could have actually lost that game with one man advantage, and that would have been fun. But I guess you guys are a bit lucky to even go with 1 point there. I'm not gonna lie. In all honesty, that was a typical bottle job performance.
Hey, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. We've seen you bottle games last season, and you finished even lower.
I don't
Even
care.
get European football.
It's you who just bottled it. That's all in the past. Now you guys are at it. We are at the top of the league right now, by the way.
Yeah. All right, enough, son. Don't stir the pot. It'll make us all the more determined.
I just want to throw in Posh here because he's been there a while. Thanks a million. I'm sorry for delaying. As it says, you can only have 6
No
hours
worries.
at the minute. But what are you saying? What was your take on the game so far from start to finish?
First of all, thank you for having me on. I know my my colleague, my co-host on Gooner Gathering, Lee Meadows, was on here a few months ago, but I'm here now. Good to be here. Let me just say, when we signed Mr. Kai Havertz for 65 million Great British pounds, I was one of the very few people to publicly say that he was not going to be a good signing for us. I knew that he wasn't going to be good. And even on the channel I'm on, and even with some friends of mine, I was told I was wrong. I was said, no, he'll be good. Mikel Arteta will transform him. Well, I know with only 3 games in, but it looks like I'm going to be proven right. Not that I'm bragging or anything. I know for the sake of him being an Arsenal player, I do hope that I was or am proven wrong, that he does well, but it's not looking good at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of people on social media trying so hard to convince themselves that he's done well. I'm seeing people go, oh, he off the ball, he was great. Oh, he's got the most flick-ons, the most layoffs. I don't care about that. I don't. It's irrelevant, really. Oh, his performance was one for the purists, or some excuse that I'm seeing. It's Havertz has not. He has not been good so far. And ironically, the moment we started playing well was when he was taken off. And we had. Yes, I know. Yeah, we didn't. We lost out on the league title. I know, but last season we had a system that most on the. Thank you, Carl Rossi. I'm from Sevenoaks. Yes. What do you expect? We had a perfectly
Sevenoaks. I lived in Dartford. Nice to meet you.
Respect, boys.
And I thought you were a good guy as well.
Hey.
Where was I? So we had a very good system last season that we were used to, and most of the games we won. And now we've completely ruined it with playing a Partey at right back, Kivior at left back, just so we could fit Havertz into the team. And it's not good enough. I'm almost lost for words. And yeah, I think if Arteta plays, the likes of Partey at right back against better opposition, against teams like Man City, Chelsea, etc., then yeah, it's Chelsea, not going to look good. And I will admit, last season I was probably a bit more lenient on Arteta compared to some of you. Okay, but if this continues, then I'm going to act the same way. I'm going to act the same way as I did when we bottled the top 4 when I wanted him gone. So we're getting close to that. I'm getting close to joining your club, your cult.
How many games are you going to give him? Like where does it turn for you?
Goes today. No more fucking games. No more excuses. Out the fucking door today. Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. But by the way, Posh, I just wanted to add on. I think Arteta is not playing Partey as a right back. If you look at the way your positionings are, it's very much like the 3-4-1-2-1, the kind of system that Nagelsmann used to play with Bayern, which doesn't have wing backs, but you have like 4 midfielders in there, and then 1 creative mid, and then 2 wingers. Up front, you have 1 striker. But it's a very risky system to play. Not any manager can play it. And the fact that he has gotten Kai Havertz in, I think he is trying to emulate that, because Kai Havertz has played the system before, but I don't think it's working. Like, Arteta is not getting the tactics right for that, and that's where it's a bit risky.
No, absolutely, and I think it if Partey plays at right back against, Man City, even against Tottenham, for example, we're going to get found out big time. I want to. I don't know what's happening with Zinchenko. I don't know if he's still not fit enough or not. I don't know. But we need to go back to our old system, how it mostly worked last season. And yes, that does mean dropping Kai Havertz, which I think is a no-brainer at the moment.
Like for me with the whole Zinchenko thing, I agree with you. I don't think he's 100% fit. And with Jesus as well, like he actually looked like he came from a Sunday League pub team. I'm not joking with you. He is not fit whatsoever. From the 5-10 minutes that he came on or whatever it was, he did not impress me as in the fitness-wise. He was slow. He wasn't sharp. But it just seems like Arteta is just picking him.
He's rushing him back in.
Just because their name. I don't give a fuck what name is on the back of the jersey. Once they put in 125% for the badge, you know what I mean? And Tony Adams famously said the words, probably a bit mixed up, but surely enough the same, you know what I mean? But this is the thing, and I'm just reading here what Carl just put in there. I was just reading that just there. Letting the best left back leave on loan for Chiora, playing one of the best centre midfielders at right back, only to play one of the last best right back at centre back, where he can't play. Sack him for the love of fuck. I agree 100% with that. Static. Can you elaborate on that, or why is he doing this? First of all,
I mean, Partey and Rice.
Let Bertie answer. He can answer.
Go for Bertie.
Go for it,
Yeah,
Bertie.
but guys, like I said, I don't think he's playing him as a right back. If you look at the position,
yeah, but he starts as a right back. But during the game, he's then moved across in midfield. But I hear what you're saying. I know what you mean.
Yeah, because it's that false positioning basically, because he's trying to fit into that four in the midfield.
But see, the goal from Fulham, and you have to give credit to the manager. He says attack them straight away, and that's what they done within the first minute, and they got their goal. He says, don't let Arsenal settle, attack them straight away. And that's where it was. It was down that right-hand side. Partey got mixed up, Saka got mixed up, and they were straight through and go. You know what I mean?
Delboy, this happened against Bournemouth and Southampton last season, where we conceded within the first 5 minutes. It's happened again. We never learn. We never learn, boys.
Static, for you, is it, for the United game, can you see him going back to the Ben White at right back and let's say Zinchenko, or is he going to just try and drag this thing out to make it work? Is he being stubborn?
Arteta has been extremely stubborn, and he's 100% going to play the same lineup. That's just his nature, boys. He's too stubborn. I can't see any changes. I'll be very surprised, unless by some miracle Havertz gets a mysterious injury, then I just can't see us changing the lineup. I really can't, boys.
Yeah, it's I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Because do you think, Bertie, that Gabriel Magalhaes is after having a fallout with him? Because how can he drop so much? Actually not even starting. How?
He didn't even came on as a sub, right? Like Gabriel Magalhaes.
No.
It's ridiculous. I mean, we've been told, it's for tactical reasons. Okay, so why didn't we practice those in pre-season?
Yep.
There's something isn't right.
Yeah.
I think I don't buy into any of this. I just don't see what he's one of the most obvious names to start in defense, but I don't, because even selling he will probably be sold next season, but Tierney as well. I mean, he is, and this is my hill to die on. He's actually one of the best left backs in the Premier League. That's my opinion.
I agree with you, Betty.
And
I agree with you.
But I don't know. Is there some kind of clause in Arteta's contract? He must play inverted football, because this is just it's ridiculous. And we've not got any cover at left back now, because Timber's out injured, Tomiyasu's suspended, and he's not even a left back. So I don't know what Zinchenko's status is, whether he's fully fit or not. But we've only got one kind of left back, and that's Zinchenko. It's not looking good from that position. Gabriel needs to start. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm just speechless. It's really bad tactical decisions.
Yeah.
Play your strongest team, Arteta.
But I have a question for you guys. Like, what do you think will take for Kroenke's to now sack this man? Like, he has done so many things wrong over the last couple of years, bottled like every single thing that can be bottled. And he has had some really, really worse performances, got you guys out of Europe in a season as well. And then like I don't see like what I mean, some people say that he's kind of close to your owners and all of that, but what would take for the owners to like really think that, okay, now we got to be a bit professional and think more for the sake of the football club rather than sake of Arteta, and then now we got to sack him? Like, what do you think would reach towards that point? Is it going to be like Arsenal fans going out to protest or what? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
Let's ask Kyle that question.
I'll answer that question.
Oh, Manny.
I've been sitting quietly for the past few minutes or so, not going to speak.
Go.
And I feel compelled right now to address, Elias here. And the answer is simple. Once performances drop, why is there an echo? Oh. Once performances start to drop to the point where even the fans start to realize that the Emperor has no clothes, that is when we'll see some change. It happened under Arsene Wenger, and it should happen under Mikel Arteta. A great mutual friend, Kenny Ken, once said, the club is the star, and that's the way it should be. Just as no player can be allowed to be bigger than the club, no manager can be allowed to be bigger than the club, whether it's Arsene Wenger or even George Graham. So there will come a time when eventually the fans will start to realize, you know what, we can't, continue to defend these performances. We can't keep saying, well, the players have got to understand the way Arteta wants to play, and if they don't, they're just useless. That's absolutely ridiculous. But the worst part is, though, that for now, the narrative, as I said, will be, well, we should have gotten something out of this game because Fulham didn't really offer very much, and people are going to say, well, we were good value for a win. Utter nonsense. We didn't deserve anything more than a point, and that's really the story. But Top Gooners will have you think otherwise, and they're going to say, well, it's the beginning of the season. Don't judge the team yet. But based on the performances we've seen, we have a right to judge them. We have a right to, say this simply isn't good enough. If you can't beat a Fulham team missing their captain and Tim Ream, who was suspended and who went down to 10 men, seeing another defender get suspended.
Mitrovic gone as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Mitrovic gone. Yeah,
but
my
guys,
fellow
I think Jimenez is a good
striker.
Elias,
Elias, please let me finish. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
If we can't beat this sort of a team, and we can't put in a performance against a team like that who were low on confidence, and I don't care, how well we've done in our first 3 games. I don't care if we are still in the top 4. We won't win the league like this unless we pull our socks up. And well mentioned, Bertie, about Mitrovic, my fellow Kent man, coming with the goods there. So, Elias, what did you want to say, son?
No, I was saying I think the Fulham team, if you ask me, are not that bad. Like I even though I know that yes, they have Mitrovic gone, but if you look at the overall team, you got Polinia. They have now a Traore on the right wing. I think he looked really good in some of his moves as well. You have players like Iderbarrio, and then the Calvin Bassey player, the one who was sent out today. I think all these players combined, they form a really good team, and I'm kind of cautious now because we are playing them now in the Carabao Cup as well. I'm kind of worried actually, like what's gonna happen to us, because that team looked like really composed. I'm not gonna lie, but overall, I think the fact that it was a home game for you guys at the home ground, and then given the confidence that you guys have been oozing on from the last season, I actually expected a much better performance from Arsenal. But the fact that you guys actually bottled it again, sorry for using the word again, I was wondering what's gonna take for firstly Arteta to get sacked, because these kind of performances would come. And one more thing I wanted to add on, I think for the first 3 games of the season, you can sometimes kind of like predict where it's all going ahead moving forward if you continue the same plan. The first 3 games, I think, kind of give you a rough idea of where the team is going. And if in all honesty, I think Arsenal is playing very pragmatic football, if you ask me, at the moment. is very pragmatic, and I think you will see you will see the struggle in Arsenal compared to what Spurs were doing the last season. I think last season at this point we were at a similar point, like we were drawing games or we were like hardly winning the games, and I think that's a similar point where Arsenal is this season. And I think you guys may be sticking in for like top 3, top 4 this season for quite a while. But if Arteta is still around, I think it may cost you like a European spot this season.
I will say this right now, and you can clip me on this, Elias. If we finish outside the top 4 and do not progress as far as we would like in the Champions League, and we fail to win a single trophy, that will be a failure of the season. And then Arteta should do the decent thing and resign, because as has been mentioned, he did say last season that he was publicly wondering whether or not he was actually good enough to do that. But credit to Darren Sullivan, and one thing for which I will credit him is that you can't serve fans like him crap and call it chicken curry. He knows the score in many cases, and there's always a part of him that says, why would a manager say something like this if not to arouse sympathy? And he's one person who definitely knows the score, and I credit him for that. And for me, it was a case of Arteta trying to arouse some sympathy by saying, by having people think, oh, he truly cares about the club. He absolutely adores the club so much that he'd think that way. But really, he was only trying to arouse some sympathy. And so he needs to realize himself that maybe he isn't good enough. Maybe he can't take the team any further, because tactically, he's not really all that. And if people want to credit him for getting the substitutions right, getting the bare minimum right, we have to be honest and say that it was his lineup today that cost us the goal in the opening minute, and it was also one of the substitutions and the inability to defend that cost us 2 points. And it will be his tactical arrogance. Big up to Suresh Lakshman and Gunaresh. He and I share common language, Tamil. We have a saying in our native language, and maybe Elias, in your neck of the woods, I know that you'll understand that it's widely spoken there. We often say, na puricha mailika munakal. And in English, it means the peacock I catch, or my peacock of choice, must have 3 legs. And we all know that peacocks only have 2 legs. But it means that, a person who says that is so arrogant. It's his way or the highway, and nothing you say can convince him otherwise. And that's exactly what we've got right now with Mikel Arteta. And the only way that things will change is when fans start to see through that and say, you know what? For all of your buff and bluster, we're not really seeing the results we really want to see, and the performances aren't really good. How can we trust this process? We eventually said goodbye to Unai Emery, because after a point in time, although he did wonderfully in his first season, and we acknowledged that things weren't quite in his favour, the football simply wasn't good enough, and results dictated that he had to leave. We've been angry that same yardstick hasn't been applied to Arteta as of yet, but sooner or later, it will be applied. Mark my words.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, that the highway and that thing. But let's just say if he's a manager like Pep, manager like, let's say, Mourinho, if he was to be an arrogant, it's understandable. They have the results backing them, they have the success backing them. But what has Arteta done that he is so stubborn with his tactics and his things that he's doing, like his way or the highway? I don't understand. Like even the signings that he has made, you can't say that Arsenal as a football club hasn't backed Arteta. They have given him all the tools that he wanted. Whatever the money that he has spent, a lot of the signings were his signings. But what has he done over the last couple of years? I mean, I've got some Arsenal fans. They come and say, "Oh, actually, Arteta is a good manager," and all that. I'm like, yes, man. Like seriously, I've got some fans. By the way, I'm not gonna name names now. Some in our Tottenham away chat, they actually come and say that, "Oh, Arteta can take this team to like the glory, the depth of the glories." You'll see. I'm like, what? What has Arteta done in the last 3-4 years?
Depth.
You need new friends.
Depth is just right. I'll throw that question around. Anyone else want to answer that?
Central, when you're finished looking like Sinead O'Connor, do you want to answer that? I have to get that in there, mate. I'm sorry.
Rest in peace.
Central.
I think he's frozen. Central, are you there, son?
Central, you're up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to just repeat your question for him?
Yeah, bigger Central, by the way.
Manny, do you want to just repeat the question you were saying?
Yeah. So Elias basically was asking a question. it's one thing for other managers to be so arrogant, but their records and their successes justify that. But what exactly has Arteta done to justify being so set in his ways and so arrogant and unwilling to listen to anyone who dares to criticize him? What do you think? What has he done? What do you think it is?
I don't know. I just don't really have an answer.
Yeah.
Static? Maybe you can answer that question, son.
Nothing, boys. Nothing. Like I said before, the guy has no coaching qualifications, so nothing. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Except that
Bertie, do you want to elaborate on it or anything like that? Like I know that you guys are like sort of like last season. I says right, I'm going to give him until like the end of last season. I'm going to give him till probably October, November, and I'll say nothing. I'll hold my hold it back.
Hold
let's
your
say.
nerve. Yeah,
I probably will. Like, you know what I mean. But what you were a big Arteta in, and at stages, and that's fair enough.
I didn't say I was a big pro like Arteta in or anything. I was more cautious. I was a more pragmatic approach.
Sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what if Arteta wins the league, right? That's the kind. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So I'll just read out this while it's there. Arsenal above all. Hello, Del Boy, you legend. Hope all is well, pal. Hello, panel. Great stuff. My head is still not hot after that. Arteta's ego will undo all the good work he did before. Even the most vocal Arteta in surely can sort of see the apple cart rocking a small bit, but for me, I think the Kroenkes, we're in this for the season. I personally believe that. I cannot see them sacking him at all. I think it's the whole season because they've backed him so much with so much money. It's his team, it's his panel, it's his coaching staff, everything like that. So they're not going to sack him at all now. And after all the work that they've put in, let's say, with spending all this money. Ellis, from like your sort of point of view, like Spurs probably have hit the reset button and they're still sort of going through the motions, and it's going to take another season or two before you guys, I think, I may be wrong, get back into the top four. But for you guys, was Ange the right sort of, is he going to click with Spurs?
Yeah, I guess the Spurs reset, it always starts and it always somehow disappoints us. I'm not gonna lie. But so far what I'm seeing from Ange, I think he's making progress faster than what I expected from him. Like, I didn't expect him to beat United, let's just say, and I didn't expect that without Kane, our front attack or like the overall goals coming from the team would look as good as currently what is looking like. I don't think Ange is a bad manager, but there's a bit more to see from him. Apparently, like today, he just said that he's just copying Pep. Apparently, that's what he said. I have a feeling now, looking at what I've observed from his tactics so far against United, against Brentford, and all of that. I think there's a slim chance that we may be in the Champions League next season due to Ange. Like, we may get a 4th or 5th spot at least. Although I've been joking around saying that, yeah, since we're on the top, we might as well win the league. But that's like far away. I'm not gonna say that we are winning the league. Although I will joke about it a little bit here and there. But no, we are not winning the league, and that's what Spurs fans need to know. But from what I've seen so far from him, I think he seems to be the right guy. He can do well. But one thing I also want to address is that he has gotten some good signings. He has an eye for spotting some really good signings that he has. For example, Mickey Van de Ven. I think so far, if you look at the stats and all of that, he has been one of the best center backs in the Premier League overall. Like, you compare all the center backs, he has been one of the best center backs at the moment in the Premier League. And when we signed him, actually, we were kind of skeptical about him. But Mickey Van de Ven was definitely an end signing. A couple of others, like you can see, Romero is doing well. Pedro Porro, he has been sort of like transformed under Ange. Like, we were kind of skeptical that he can't play the right back role, but he's doing well lately. in that right back position as well since Ange has come on. Bissouma seems to be good. Then that guy Pape Matasar, even though they were the previous signings, but these signings have really been transformed, and they're true. They're you can say that Ange has sort of like figured out where they are best at, and then he's playing that system. He had to change from his original system, which he played at Celtic, which is like you play two holding mids and you don't really use a creative mid. He changed from that a little bit here. Because he's using Madison, but it has worked really, even though he has deviated from his original system, and that's what I liked about this kind of a manager. I was not for Ange, by the way, in the beginning. I was one of those like, oh, this guy coming from a league like where this team wins the league every time. But what I've seen so far from him, even though some people might say that, oh, it's just Brentford and Bournemouth, two of those games, but Premier League is Premier League. You all know that sometimes these teams can pull off like great upsets as well, like what we saw from Fulham today, what we saw from Nottingham Forest today against United. These teams in Premier League, they give their best, and what I've seen from Ange so far, that if he's keeping clean sheets, I mean, with this kind of defenders, I don't think our defense is the best, by the way, guys. And the way Ange plays, he's a very attacking manager. He's keeping clean sheets, which is another positive thing. And I'm delighted to see that he's making fast progress. Like, it may not take 1 or 2 years for him to like compete in the cup competition. I think the next year itself, if we back the manager, we give him the weapons that he need, and he's interested in that project, I think we're on the right track. But when I compare Spurs with Arsenal, my problem always comes to with Arsenal. Like I always ask this question from my Arsenal friends, like, why is it that for so many years Arsenal has kept on one manager who has not shown any project as well? Like every other season, he's buying new players. There's no project. Like, let's just say he has like a couple of youngsters who has been using constantly, and he's bringing that project on. Then it's understandable that yes, you keep a manager, but he is replacing the players every single season. He's not progressing. He is always digressing from where he is. Then why is it that Arsenal has kept on to just one manager for so long? Where Spurs, I think the problem with Spurs is that we have sacked a couple of managers, and that's why that kind of became our downfall. We first had Pochettino, then we sacked him, brought in Mourinho, then Nuno, then Conte, and then the Ryan Mason, and then a couple of those managers, and then we now have Ange. So it's understandable when you change from one project to another project. It's understandable that you'll drop. But why is Arsenal dropping under one manager? Like, there's no improvement, and that manager is still around.
Yeah, though I know what you mean. He's fucking like, I like what Ange is doing with the whole Bissouma thing as well. He gave him a fresh go, and he's really doing well. And as people know, I was screaming for. I wanted Arsenal to sign him at the time. We were looking for that defensive midfielder. We didn't get him. Hey ho, you know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But look, I'm going to wrap it up there, lads. And please do. I'm near the 900 mark, near the 900 subs. Please, if you're on your way out, hit the old subscription button. I really appreciate it. I'll start with you, Static. Where can people find you? What are you doing?
Well, everyone, you can find me on Instagram, static__5. You can also find me here on Del Boy's wonderful, beautiful channel. And you can also find me anywhere within the Arsenal community on YouTube. Boys, we've got to do better against Man United next week. No excuses.
Yeah, 100%. And just before I come to you, Posh, I just want to give the Irish Gunner here up. Please do check his channel out. I was checking it out before the game today. He has all the old school Arsenal goals. A few of them against Spurs. The old, like, you know, Tony Adams and stuff like that. But please do, just check his channel out. Hit an L subscribe, help him along. Like, you know what I mean? It's free of charge, people. And drop a comment on and say hello.
Del Boy, I just want to say as well, thank you so much for having me on again. It's always wonderful to come on and the panel.
Absolutely, no problem.
It's lovely to so many new faces. It's lovely to meet everyone today.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
big love and respect to everyone in live chat. And please, everyone, please like and subscribe. Del Boy, so close to 900 subscribers.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a million. And you're always welcome, Static. 100%, mate. Posh Bertie, you bring the class and elegance of an Englishman to this channel, and fair play to you. Where can people find you, man?
You can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, at Posh Bertie, and Instagram at Bertie Wanless. You can also find me on YouTube at Gooner Gathering. We're probably going to be doing a video tomorrow regarding the Fulham game. We've got my co-host Lee Meadows, of course, who is more of an optimistic Arsenal fan, and you got me, who's a bit more critical. So it'll make for a very interesting dynamic tomorrow, fair to say. So
good copper, bad copper, eh, mate?
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, no, he's a good man. But yeah, go and subscribe to Del Boy as well. Thank you for having me on. Get him to 900.
No, appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks a million. Ellis, the enemy's in the room, but we have words and wisdom galore here. Everyone's welcome on the channel. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, you all can find me at one of the most infamous channels on the Spurs community. Everybody hates me, by the way. Just so on Spurs community, everybody hates me because I speak the truth, and yeah, I mud them as well as I mud Arsenal. Just that today is Arsenal's turn, so I thought, okay, just give them a bit of a break. Go on Arsenal channels, mud them a bit. So yeah, you can find me at Step Up Spurs. That's where I'm usually at, or you can find me at Tottenham Away. I do most of the shows sometimes with them, or some of the other channels as well. A couple of them. Yeah. So at Step Up Spurs, that's where you can find me. You can subscribe me there. Once in a while, I do some fan shows as well. Money has, I think, been to my shows once or twice as well. I think on
yep, once I remember.
Yep, and yeah, I'll be doing a bit more of that now. I took a summer break, but I think after this coming international break, I'll be a bit more free to do a bit more content. Yep, at Step Up Spurs.
Yeah. And Ellis, come here. If you need a fucking Egypt on your channel for them Spurs fans to hate even more, give us a shout, yeah? No problem at all.
Sure. I'll have. I think North London Derby is coming soon, so I'll have some Arsenal fans on my show that time.
Lovely. Yeah, 100%. No problem. Just DM me. We'll talk. We'll talk business.
Sure. Yep.
Central, what's the crack? Where can people find you, man?
Okay, you can follow me at Central Man Network on YouTube. I'm on 353 subscribers.
Whoa, well done.
Well done.
That's good.
Nice one, Central.
You're welcome.
Yeah, fair play. And to the great man himself, after kicking the shit out of an Arteta fucking punch bag, I'd say your legs are big. He's like Adama Traore, there he is.
Mate, listen, I would never ever want to do that behind anyone's back. I'd always do it in front of you. Maybe I need to buy one or paint Arteta's face on one and then actually do that. But first of all, big up to Del Boy Gunner TV. Always my first, my last, my everything when it comes to YouTube. And another appeal to everyone watching this video: do subscribe to this channel. Do like this video. Always one of the most authentic call-in show hosts here on YouTube. We say it as we are. You criticize us as negative. We come in here spitting the truth, and we say what we like. We like what we say, and we're respectful to each other. We're respectful to people who come on in, even if they're Tottenham fans. Sorry, Elias, there, but it is what it is. And this is the way you can catch me. Always ready for the crack with Del Boy, and elsewhere on YouTube, Oris Talks Football, Coach's Corner, up the cherries in all departments. Commiserations to them for the loss today. Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, AFC Talk Show TV, Villa TV. Also, shout out to Eugene Spurs Asia TV, which is where I met Elias. Does a call-in show every now and then, I believe, at the beginning of every week, and I hope to join him again sometime soon. And basically, I have nothing much more to say except let's learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Otherwise, better not to have a discussion. Always wonderful to be here with some like-minded people who know how to respect one another, even if we disagree on certain things. But I think today, many of us were in agreement in the chat that we were awful today, and we need to step it up for when the Reds come marching in, as it were. So take care of yourselves. Shame about the football, but there's more to life than it. Del Boy, make sure you go and hit the pubs and have a few Guinnesses for me. I'm going to need them as much as you will. To all of you, have a good rest of your weekend. Be safe, be happy. Big up to everyone on the panel who came in and went earlier. Warren, Kyle Walsh, do subscribe to their channels, Warren's Team Talk, and also Kyle Walsh Gunner, and also Matt the Southern Gooner, and everyone else who came in and had to leave. Don't do anything that us panelists and I wouldn't do, but for now, I bid you all adieu.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone. As it says, just sort of second that what Manny was just saying there. All the panel, all the Posh, Ellis, Static, Manny, yourself, Central, Warren was here, Kyle, Matt, you know, and everyone else, Henry and all was trying to get on and stuff like that. It was just really hectic, like, you know, but thanks to everyone in the chat. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this, trust me. You know, today wasn't a good day at the office. It was like me yesterday. I went to the gym, woke up this morning a bit stiff, you know what I mean? And that's what the performance was today. From the get-go, Fulham were out on the blocks quicker than Arsenal. You know, when you're playing the Premiership game, I was only saying, I got my hair cut today. When I was saying to the barber, he's a Man United supporter. He says, well, I was telling him, there's no easy game in the Premier League apart from if you're Man City. You know what I mean? Every game is like a cup final. You have to treat it that way. If you don't, you'll draw 2-2 with Fulham at home. And on that note, I'll bid you good evening. I'm off to the pub. I'm going to get spruced up, a bit of brew, you know yourself, get the hair gelled up and all that, and have a few pints of Guinness. But thanks again for everyone that's after subscribing you and all that likes. Really do appreciate it. Take care, everyone. God bless, and have a great rest.